After work, we took a slow 100-kilometer train ride and then rode an hour to our planned hilltop campsite. There's a park somewhere at the bottom and we're off to find the toilet. A shower disguised as a concrete tree. A bear bomb. Oh, another. Thanking the spirits for the nice camp. Now we have supplies, it's time to go. We started riding at 12:30 and finally arrived at 5:30. The elevation is almost 2,000 meters. Already taking a break, and this is still the easy section.
Just in the clouds.
A final morning shower after the night of rain. So far so good, right? Wrong.
Look, the fold in my fingers completely around the other side. How about you? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, that's it. And if you can reach a bit further down, it might help you. You just need to rest your hands for 1 minute and then you'll be okay again. So don't hesitate to stop and give your hands a rest.
She didn't hesitate to rest. In fact, she pulled over every minute or two to stretch her fingers. This is Yuki's first trip on her new bike with drop handlebars. Going down such a long, steep mountain, she doesn't have the strength to break from the hoods. It was quite scary. This is actually part of the supermarket where you can eat and drink the stuff you just bought. A relatively boring ride until the final part when we entered the mountains.
Too heavy? What did you say? Huh? Hard?
We just had time to scout out a place to camp before darkness fell and the rain began. Luckily, this rest area provides good shelter and comfort. Now, back up the hill to the shrine. It's quite early and we're almost the only ones here. It's summer, but this water is freezing cold. We continue walking through the forest until we reach the onsen.
Nice onsen.
Back near the shrine rest area for lunch. On the left side is the track for a tourist train that runs about 2 kilometers. We're on what used to be the old railway line, now a walking route. Red brick buildings are rare in Japan.
Don't show off to the camera, you're not a film star.
This is actually where we'll camp. But first, we'll complete the path, get back to the main road and find a convenience store for tonight's food. Just off to the side is this semi-pleasant lake.
Hello.
There are actually 6 or 7 of these tunnels. Some are quite long and pretty fun to walk through. This is the end. Carrying the bikes and gear down all these steps wasn't something we'd expected. Worse still, there's no convenience store. We have no choice but to ride all the way to Karuizawa. It's a great road, but we were already tired and we have to ride all the way back again. Directions to the supermarket. A sudden heavy shower just before we arrive. A perfect evening with no rain, though plenty of beer. Yes, I made breakfast. Same route again. This is where the Tokyo wealthy have their second homes. And this is where the Tokyo poor have their lunch.
Cheers.
Karuizawa is quite high up, but not usually as cool as this. Once we were off the busy main road, this became a lovely ride.
Look at that.
This is another place where Yuki's braking was something of a problem. We bought some groceries in the awful town at the bottom of the hill and then began a much harder climb than I'd expected. It's a memorial park that seems quite forgotten.
Yeah. And look at the view.
Again, luckily the rain stopped by morning. And what a place to camp. This is a village we noticed just before the camping park on the way up. Of course, in aging Japan, many of the houses are empty and derelict. Now, back over the summit and down the other side. Slippery moss notwithstanding, this is my kind of road.
Is that way? Up here. Is it that way?
And this is absolutely everyone's kind of temple. Me, acting. we're going over into those mountains. This is the view from our tent. Of course, we'll go. It's a bit early, and not many people have arrived yet. Actually, it started to rain, so we left quite soon. Still some light rain the next morning. But this sheltered spot is where we sat for our evening meal. And of course, a few beers. The rain stopped and we explored the nearby temple. The day before, a guide told us about an interesting and unvisited archaeological site in the hills. Yes, that's it. Now we know why it's unvisited. Now watch this. Not that way. Not that way either. Not that way. The first route became more like a hiking path. Scrap that.
Yeah, it's strange, huh? The way cannot go.
The second route became a long pay tunnel with no bikes allowed. Scrap that. The third route took us towards those scary mountains. Scrap that. The problem is, we're trying to get to Matsumoto and there's a giant mountain range blocking the way. A guy in the tunnel office showed us a map and explained the normal way avoiding the tunnel is the circuitous old main road. So now we're following his plan. We stopped here to shelter and eat. Looking at our location, our destination and the time of day, it became obvious that we would never make it. We had no desire to ride over the mountain pass in the dark, so this is what we did. A lovely high plateau.
Rice fields and mountains. Lovely.
From the station, we started our steep, dark, wet and at times scary ride up to what I thought was a hilltop park. It turned out to be a mountaintop park. Listen to the rain. Luckily, there's a nice gazebo for shelter. The rain's just about stopped. Back in the gazebo. And now the glorious mountain view. Now we're riding back down into the town. The famous Matsumoto Castle. It's only about 70 clicks to Nagano, but our holidays are almost over and we have no time to ride there. This is another one hell of a mountain ride. You can see it's already getting dark. We had to ride for over 2 hours in total blackness, with one bike light dead and the other fading fast. When we reached the end of the road, an expected short hike turned into a long and precarious climb. Our camping headlights were also dim and nearly dead. Yuki was scared from the get-go and for a while in tears. But if we were on the right track, which I was beginning to doubt, we'd find a shelter with flat ground for the tent. So we had no choice but continue. As you can see, we arrived safely. This was the view when I opened the tent door. This is a scary place because there's an abandoned spooky guest house beside a shrine. I found an open door. A karaoke machine. We could still hear the ghostly singing.